This video could be an absolute disaster for many reasons, but the one in particular is that I've taken a bit of a risk and I'm only doing it with this one video to see if it works or not. But because I drop daily content, I don't have time to reshoot videos. So if this doesn't work, I'm going to put it up anyway. And if it's just awful and you're like, oh, I can't watch that, I apologize, I'm sorry, but I just can't not put up daily videos. I put up videos every single day, like not weekdays, like 7 days a week, not 5 days a week, not alternate days, every single day. And I don't have time to reshoot videos. So if this doesn't work out, if I go into the editing program and I find out, whoa, that risk did not pay off, I'm still going to edit the video and put it up. And hopefully you'll just appreciate my candor. But what I've done is that when I dropped my phone in the toilet like a bonehead, and I got a new one. But since I got my new phone, it's the same iPhone 6 that I've always shot on. And let me just segue quickly to links, because links in videos are there for the duration of the videos, not just the 5 seconds that the link comes up here. And I tell people that because I want them to check out the links later in the video. I don't want them to leave the video when I point to a link right now. But maybe if I say something and you're like, oh, I want to check that out, but I want to watch this video too, then you know that that link is actually there for the duration of the video and it's not just going to disappear. But what I'm talking about is a link to what I shoot on. Bing, and there's that link there. And I shoot on an iPhone 6, ancient technology for these times. I edit videos on iMovie, terrible technology for these times. But that's what I shoot on. That's my financial position in the world. And I dropped my iPhone 6 in the toilet about a month ago. And then after I shot some videos on it for the channel and I uploaded them to iMovie to edit, they were automatically in 720 and not 1080. 1080 being the highest quality. They were one below that in 720. And I was like, no, I don't want that. So then I tried to reset it to 1020 or 1080? But 30 frames per second. But for some reason, it still stayed on the 720. So for this video, what I've done is it's on, is it 1080? I think it's 1080. 1080, 60 frames per second, and it could be a disaster. It could be all flickery. It could be way too much clarity of looking at this ugly mug and you're like, ooh, I don't want to see his face in that much detail. It could be messing up the green screen. The green screen could be an absolute mess with it in 60 frames per second. I don't know. I really don't know. I've never done it before, but all of my videos for like a year and a half were in the highest quality 1080 level, high definition, and then all of a sudden when I got my new phone it was in 720 and I don't want that. I want it in 1080. So I'm taking this risk doing this video in 1080 60 frames per second, because when I set my phone to 30 frames per second it stays on 720 when I upload it to YouTube. So hopefully this will get us back to better quality. Hopefully it won't make a mess of my green screen. Hopefully I'm not too ugly for you guys to look at, and hopefully you'll enjoy this video, which finally we're going to get into and talk about the Nike Air Force 1 Supreme. This is a Tokyo About It 23 sneaker channel. Tokyo About It 23 sneaker channel des. Mainichi upsune de, mainichi mite kudasai. Every single day from Tokyo, Japan, I bring you content about upcoming sneakers, sneaker releases, and sneaker news. And today that's no different as we look at the upcoming release of the Nike Air Force 1 Supreme. And it's a really cracking sneaker. Now, the single point that I'm aiming for in this sneaker video is to talk about whether or not to go with the alternate laces. These shoes come with two different laces, a plain lace, white in the case of the white version, black in the case of the black version, or a heavily branded, over-branded Supreme lace, which has Supreme like printed throughout the entire lace. So when you tie it into the shoe, it's like Supreme, 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 all across the laces. And the question is, which do we go for? Do we go for the blank, unbranded, single color laces, or do we go for the over branded Supreme laces? That's the question that we're going to be asking in this video. And basically you'll know if you've gotten that out of this video, if you yourself can make a decision based on what I say and what I show you, whether or not you would rock the plain laces or the branded laces. So without further ado, let's have a look at this sneaker. Now we're going to look first at it without the branded laces on there, because there are some things that are important to know. And one of those things that's important to know is that the branding on the heel, in my opinion, is awesome. It's getting heavily hit by other people out there who do not like this simple sort of toned back branding. I love it. I don't like branding that's way too much in your face. It makes me feel like I'm a walking billboard just advertising some company. I don't like it. So when it's subtle and discreet and just a little splash of branding on the heel, I like that. And in the case of these guys, that little tiny, as you can see behind me here, that little tiny square of Supreme. First we'll look at it hopefully in black, and then we'll switch that up and look at it in white. Either way, I think it looks fire. I think it looks really clean on these sneakers, and I'm a big yes on that. What I'm not a big yes on is on the insole. I was super disappointed with the insole of these guys. What I'll do is I'll show you one and then the other behind me here, the black and then the white, or the white and then the black, or whatever. But basically, in my opinion, the black branding is really cool because the whole branding stands out on the black background. So we're looking at the insole, we're looking at the black insole, we're looking at the branding on there, and it really stands out. But then if I flip to the white, like that, it kind of looks lazy to me. They've just went with exactly the same branding from the blacks, but because it's exactly the same, the white branding in the branding doesn't show up because it's on a white insole. And it's kind of lazy to me, which is a bit surprising in an Air Force One and in a Supreme tie-up. I would have thought they could have done something a bit more to make the branding on the insole pop, rather than just go with exactly the same factory branding that you get on the black ones and the white ones. So I was a bit disappointed in that. Then I came forward to the tongue, and I don't know if I've just never noticed this or if it's something specific about this sneaker, but there's two parts to the tongue branding. Now the first part is blatantly obvious, right in your face. It says Supreme right there. So let's just get that out of the way. Look at the tongue. Yes, it says Supreme, yay. But the thing that I was actually drawn to was that there's three parts to the branding. At the bottom it says Supreme, and then above that there's two pieces of Nike branding. And one of them says Nike Air, and then below that it says Air Force One. Now separately, that's kind of cool. But then if you look at it as one, it says Nike Air Air Force One. It says Air twice. Do you know what I mean? Shouldn't it just say Nike Air Force One or Nike Air Force One? Do you know what I mean? It shouldn't say Nike Air Air Force One. It shouldn't say it twice. Does it say that on all Nike Air Force One sneakers? I've never noticed it before, but because it's Supreme and I was focused in on the Supreme branding, I was thinking about it. I was like, oh, that says Air twice. That's a bit odd. Or is it? Is that what they normally have on there? And then if we come down from that, we're going to skip over the laces and come back to them in a minute, because that is the main thing. But down at the bottom, there's that lace lock or lace holder or placeholder, whatever you want to call it, which says AF-1 for Air Force One. Now, this is one of my favorite things about Air Force Ones, is that they play with that. Sometimes it says Nike, sometimes it's swoosh. In the case of these guys, AF-1. But it looks like there's something below that, and it's awfully pixelated and you can't really see it, and I don't have an answer for you, but it definitely says something below the AF-1, Air Force-1 there, and I hope it says Supreme, but I don't know for sure, and it'll be interesting to get these guys in hand and see exactly what that lace placeholder says on it there. But then finally we have to look at those laces, which I did say at the start are over branded and a little bit too much on there for me. And to look at them, we have to look at the shoe as a whole. The shoe as a whole, when it's not got the over branded laces in, it reminds me of the a cold wall Air Force Ones. Check that link out at any time. Still be there at the end of the video. The cold wall Air Force Ones from late 2018 were very smooth and very bland, but still very cool. And when I look at these Air Force Ones, these Supreme Air Force Ones, without the over-branded laces on there, it reminds me of that. It's got that sort of sleek, single color, uniform effect to them. And it's a little bit bland. The cold walls were kind of cool, but this, without the branded laces, is a little bit bland. It's just a very black shoe or a very white shoe, except that little hit of branding on the heel. Then if we change to look with the alternate laces in there, you can see, wow, that brings a ton of color, a ton of definition, a ton of contrast to the sneaker. And without it, they're a bit boring. But to be honest, with it, it's a bit overkill. So they've kind of gone from one side to the other, and they're both extremes. And to me, they needed to find a happy medium in the middle. So either way, for me, with the normal laces in there or with the overly branded laces in there, I'm kind of a no. Maybe what I need to do is get these and put in a totally different lace, of my own choice. I might even go with a different color, like red, to bring out the red branding on the heel, especially on the white ones. If you had red, maybe even like red with white speckles, or white with red speckles or something, to bring out the branding on the heel would work. But the overly branded Supreme laces for me is just a little bit much, so it's not quite my thing. But is it your thing? And which of the two would you rock if you had the choice? Would you go with the plain laces, or would you go with the branded laces, or neither? These are just not your thing and you're just not going to go for them at all. But that's my look at the upcoming release of the Nike Air Force 1, or the Nike Air Force 1, if we look at the tongue branding, Supremes. Lots to look at that I like on the sneaker, some things that I'm not a huge fan of on them. Either way, they're going to sell like hotcakes because it's Supreme. But I think, if you are going to get these, I would certainly recommend swapping out the laces for something a little bit different. Now it's time for me to sign off, and thank you guys for checking out my content. At the end of every single video, I always throw up a link to the playlist that has the rarest sneakers in the world in hand, about 30 different videos of those sneakers, really incredibly rare sneakers. But the main reason I throw out the playlist is because then you'll be able to see all the other links that I've talked about throughout this video and choose one of those to go and have a look at. So doing, there's the playlist. If you click on that, you'll see the other links to like those Cold Walls and any other Air Force Ones that I've linked in and throughout this video. But for now, it's time for me to sign off. Thank you guys for checking out my content. But as I do this every single day, that means that you are guaranteed to see me tomorrow.